Going to work on the business letter to the bank. Like always, you need to open up your BoxSync folder and you're going to click on CEO Challenge. The first thing you should do before any project is open up your student workbook and make sure you're on the right page. So today's project is the letterhead. So that starts, the business letter to the bank, which starts on page 45. So once you're on page 45, you'll see that it gives you step-by-step instructions on how we're going to complete this assignment. We're going to follow these instructions, and at the end, our letterhead should look, our business letter to the bank requesting the loan should look something like this. So as we go, we are going to make sure that our letter to the bank, as we go step by step, all of the instructions might not make 100% sense. They might not explain exactly what to do, but you should be able to look at the sample and get an idea of what yours should look like and what you need to do to get to this point. So once we've done this, we've opened up our Student Edition workbook. I'm going to click on the Finder. We're going to open up our letterhead. So you see that's step number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my letterhead. Then I'm going to look back to see what the next step is. And it says to save document as business letter to bank. Business letter to bank. Now, we've talked before, if we do save as, we get to save a new copy of something, change the name. If I were to change this, start typing, and then hit save, I'll be saving over my letterhead. And I don't want to do that. The letterhead is a separate project. So for now, we're going to go to File, Save As. We're not going to do save, we're doing Save As. And you're going to find the correct place for it to go. Now, because I already opened up my folder, it's here, but just in case yours wasn't already open there, maybe it looks something like this. You're going to click this down arrow, make sure that this is open. You're going to go to Student Work. You're going to click on your folder, and you're going to make sure you save it. So we always save with our number, our name, and then the title. So it's business letter to bank, right? And then I'll hit save. Now for the rest of the project, anytime I hit save, I'm going to be saving to the business letter to the bank and not over top of my letterhead. This is a very important step. Make sure you do it. Alright, now that we've completed that, we're going to look to see what our next steps are. And you're going to see that there's a lot of information as far word for word, type in today's date, press enter twice, type the name of the banker, type the name of the bank, type the bank's address. But it makes it a little easier when we actually look at a sample here and can see what it's going to look like. So when it tells us to enter the date, it should look something like this. So we're going to put today's date. And today's the 8th. Alright, now if it's a different day for you, then you need to put today's date. Okay, so don't put the date I put here, put today's date. Then I'm going to look and it tells me after I do that, after I put the date, I'm going to press enter twice. And here on the sample it says confidential, doesn't have it in the instructions, but we're going to go ahead and do it because we want ours to look just like the sample. So we'll go back to the date. We want to make sure we enter once, twice. We'll type in confidential. And we'll enter twice. Now it asks us to enter the name of the banker and the bank. Just for sake of uniformity, let's all use me as the banker. So you're going to put Michael Swift. And my bank is Money Bank. And then after I have the Money Bank, we are going to put in the address. So for the address, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's think of a name. Will be Luck Street. And we are going to want the city, the state, and the zip code. So for city, we'll do San Diego, California, 91942. So now yours should look something like this. You'll have today's date, whatever today's date is. You'll have this confidential line, and you'll have my information here. Now I'm the bank. I'm the banker, Michael Swift, and Money Bank is the name of my bank. So now you're going to start a letter to me. So you'll begin with, let's make sure it's double spaced. 1, 2. Dear Mr. Swift, comma. And we want to have the subject. So we'll go ahead and add subject here. And if you notice, the subject here, loan for business, is bold. So we'll go ahead and make our subject bold. So I highlighted, then I'm going to hit the bold button. The other option is you can, when you've highlighted, use the hotkeys. So the hotkey for bold is the Command and B. And now we're ready to begin our letter. So you'll notice there's a letter here, and you can use these words, you can use this as a concept, but it needs to be specific to your company. So if you're not a retail store in a community specializing in computers, you shouldn't talk about a retail store specializing in computers. Right? So you need to follow this as a guide, but yours needs to be specific to your company. If you look on page number 45, it tells you what each one of the paragraphs should look like. So the opening paragraph should be a brief goal and a statement regarding the purpose of the letter. Then your body, you need to have some descriptive paragraphs, 1 or 2 is fine, talking about the company and why the bank, Money Bank, should give you money. And then finally you're going to provide a brief closing statement with contact information, deadline for receiving the funds. So as long as yours has all of that, which will look something like this, then you're good to go. So you've got your header, you've got the business letterhead, you've got all of the opening information. So now it's up to you to make the paragraphs specific to your company. And it should look something like this. You're also at the very end, after you've completed these paragraphs, you are going to close with sincerely. You're going to leave a large space, about 4 spaces, and then your name and CEO underneath. This space right here is where you would sign. You'd physically sign with a pen. And then when you're done, you're going to hit save. So make sure when you've got this point, you're not done. Yours needs to look like this. You need to actually have the rest of these paragraphs in here.